Hi folks, we're at the Phanteks suite at CES 2020 and I'm with Tenzin here who's going to be explaining some of the new chassis and updates to the other products and a new water cooling products that we're going to be taking a look at later. So Tenzin, what's new with all the chassis over here first?
Yeah, well, we brought one of our fan favorites at the moment, the P400A. I'm sure everybody heard of that one, and we got such amazing response that we're expanding the A airflow lineup basically. So we got first up the P300, which is going to be available already this month, so pretty soon, and it's going to offer amazing value with the same performance, the same ultra-fine mesh known from the P400A. So that's a really good deal.
Okay, and so these ones are going to be obviously the more budget lined
yeah,
of the
so
chassis
very
range,
compact ATX chassis, right?
Yeah, and so you've got the smaller P300A, and then we've got the larger 400, and then the 500, which is the more premium offering of the bunch here.
Yeah, I would say for a mid-tower, it's like a powerhouse. There's so many features packed in. In fact, you'll get all the features known from the P600 and the Evolve X. But even with this, same as the P400 with the ultra-fine mesh, so you get the same performance and even silence.
So with the mesh, I'm expecting there to be an awful lot more airflow than some of the previous models, right?
Yeah, I mean, this model is all about airflow. If you see top to bottom, all the way on in the width, it's all mesh, all airflow, and lots of fans included. So.
And what would be the sort of typical radiator support for a water cooling setup in one of these chassis?
Yeah, so like the P600S, you can go up to a 420 radiator at the front and a 360 or 280 at the top. So it should be plenty. Even if you go for like a dual system, which is possible with at the top, same as the P600 and the Evolve X, so you'll be able to cool all of that.
And obviously, because they're based on some of the same principles as the Evolve X and similar chassis, you're going to have all the same cable management options on the inside as well to be able to keep them nice and clean.
Yeah, so all the cable management, all the storage options, the same type of brackets, the same vertical GPU support, everything is included the same way. So it fits the same ecosystem.
Also come with all some of the lighting control as well, or is that going to be only separate?
Yeah.
These ones?
So for the P500, we're going to offer kind of a broad range of products. We got the at 99, which is really good value. It's like a blacked out version with two 140 black fans. And we got a slightly more premium where you get all the lighting known from the Evolve X, the very smooth rail light in a PSU cover, and 3 DRGB fans included, all 140.
Oh, fantastic. And then if we take a look at some of the larger chassis, you've got the M2 Pro 2 over here.
Yeah, so for power users, we've got like a really powerful, all options available full tower chassis. It's based on the 719 chassis, so you get all those features like 480 radiator support, or dual 480 radiator support and 360 at the same time if you want to go all the way. But you can swap all of those locations between cooling, water cooling, hard drive storage, SSD storage, or dual power supply if you go for like a EEB workstation, or even dual system. So all of that is possible in the Pro 2 chassis.
So you mentioned this is obviously going to support EEB motherboards. So all the giant sort of Intel socket Xeons and things. And
yeah, we got one here, like a dual socket Xeon motherboard. Yeah, all of that is possible. Yeah.
And then you also mentioned that you can have the dual radiator setup as well. So you're going to have, if you had to say a 480 in the front and a 480 in the top, you'd be able to have still maybe a thinner 480 in the top, but a thick 480 in the front still, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So basically, the front and the bottom area, you can go for very thick radiators, and still got space on the other locations for storage.
Okay, so water cooling wise, one of the things you want to take a look at is the new Glacier D120 reservoir, right?
Yeah, yeah. After releasing the D140 distribution plate, that's also a universal distribution plate, we got so many requests for additional models for smaller chassis or a model where you can still combine it with a vertical GPU. So that's why we developed the D120. So same as the D140, it's a universal one. So if you got a chassis with a rear 120 millimeter fan, you're pretty guaranteed that this will fit, right? There's no custom work needed.
Yep, and then you've also got increased GPU support on the way as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so we're expanding our lineup basically. So we got all of our GPU blocks come into colors like a matte black and a very shiny chrome version. And the new models will support the dual Evo GPUs from ASUS.
And do these ones have ARGB built into them as well as like some of the other ones you see?
Same as our D120, right? All of our current and new products are included with DRGB LED.
Right, and of course, talking of DRGB, I think it's definitely worth having a quick look at the LED strips that we saw a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But these are great fun. So obviously these have been making waves a little bit recently. Just tell us a little bit more about them because they're incredibly flexible, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really flexible and they really allow you to get creative. And what they do is they're a flexible LED strip that create this very, very smooth and diffuse like line of light. And then with the clips and the mounting options that's included, you can get really creative and create shapes, highlight your fans, highlight radiators, highlight your motherboard, especially with the different lengths available, you know, from 40 centimeters all the way up to 1 meter. You can create, you know, basically anything you want.
And you mentioned you can also cut these to length as well, so you can maybe start with a much longer one and then do exactly the run you want and then trim
If
it
you
down.
really want to make it perfect, you can, you know, highlight some hardware you want and then cut it perfectly to length. Yeah.
And then you can also daisy chain these, so I see you've got an awful lot of them here all running off. This is all a single controller, right?
Yeah, all we're running off our DRGB controller, so a single one. Yeah.
And then if you were to run these off the motherboard, it's worth noting that these are going to be power limited, aren't they?
Yeah,
Rather than
because we're using a lot of LEDs, very bright ones. So if a motherboard, I would say roughly about 2 meters. If you're using our 3 meter is definitely fine. In addition to, you know, the case lighting that might already be there and plus some fans. So, and that's a lot of light.
And then you start to run into more of the issues with the SATA power and things, don't you?
Yeah, the SATA power is the limiting factor, yeah.
Right, well thank you very much, Tenzin. It's really, really useful.